Well, my name's Augie Johnston. I'm a lifelong Nuggets fan. This is as good as you're going to do. You want the history of the Nuggets and you don't want it brought to you from Scott Hastings. This is as good as you're going to do, and I'm going to tell you why. Because anyone that was willing to watch this team during certain years, during the 90s especially, um, that was willing to watch those horrible front office decisions, just they're lacking intelligence. Why would you do that to yourself? So I have tried to be the best fan that I possibly could over the years. And in terms of the history of the Nuggets, you're not going to find somebody better than me. So I started following as really a hardcore fan, and I would say 1990. They had a mediocre year. It was Doug Moe's last year, the run and gun offense. All off. Let's first team to 100. Let's try to score as many points as we possibly can. Doug Moe wanted to be the best offensive coach in history. What a character! One white sock, one red, one black sock, that sort of thing. That was an accident, by the way. But yeah, he wasn't known as a great dresser. So after watching the Bad Boys, Dennis Rodman, I loved his teeth. Isaiah Thomas, I loved Dennis Rodman's teeth. That's why I became a fan. Isn't that weird? His teeth aren't particularly nice looking back, but it's like they look exactly like mine. We have the same teeth. If my teeth were more straight, they would look like Rodman's. Isn't that weird? I was just like, this guy's got the coolest teeth. And I loved Isaiah Thomas. So that's why I became a fan of the NBA. And I wanted to watch it every day. Well, I couldn't watch the Pistons every day. I didn't even have cable. We moved outside of town. So KWGN, the Nuggets, I had to rely on Al Albert and at the time Dan Issel. It would later become a rotation of Dave Logan and Walter Davis. But boy, was it difficult. But there were some great moments. My favorite Nugget ever, Chris Jackson, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf.
Against Ellis. Blocked by Mutombo. 1 second. Jackson for the game. Yes! Oh, my! Chris Jackson and the Nuggets at the buzzer in dramatic...
Go get a delay of game, Denver Nuggets do, but the Nuggets still have a foul to give. So they were in real trouble, and they want possession of the ball. That's all they want is possession of the basketball. They don't want to give up a three.
And Perkins shoots the two, blocked by Brian Williams. 8 seconds, Perkins batted back out. McMillan, another three, way short. That's it. Mutombo embraces the ball, and the unlikely upset, one of the great upsets in NBA playoff history. The 8th seed, a team that was 2 games over 500 on the season. The Denver Nuggets, youngest in the NBA, have beaten the team with the best record in the NBA, the Seattle Supersonics, and Dikembe Mutombo, one of the stars.
So that was a game 5. At that point, it wasn't best of 7 in the first round. It was best of 5. The Nuggets had to come from behind 2-0 to win the series, 3-2. And to my knowledge, that had not happened in the NBA prior to that. No team had ever come from 2 games down to win a playoff series. They'd done it. They had done it as the number 8 seed versus the number 1 seed. That also had never been done in the history of the NBA. Okay, so the Nuggets beat the Sonics in 1994 as number 8 seed, unprecedented. The most shocking and exciting moment of my life. And then the second round versus the Utah Jazz. In the NBA, it's hard to develop geographic rivalries, just the scheduling of the NBA. You don't play a lot of games against cities in your, near you geographically. Also, the great space between Denver and Salt Lake. I think it's like think it's about an 8-hour drive from Denver to Salt Lake, somewhere around there. But as default, many of us basketball fans would root for the Jazz because the Nuggets wouldn't be in it, especially in the 90s. So we would root for Karl Malone and John Stockton. So this series had a lot of significance. And the Nuggets, again, fell, and this one you don't hear about often. The Nuggets fell down 3-0 in this series. And guess what? They climbed all the way back.
Field goal. Malone rolls to the basket, and it's a 2-point game.
Stockton put a back screen on Dikembe Mutombo and just did not let him go.
Hornacek is open, but so is Malone. Tries again. And Karl Malone has buried big shots, and it's more and more difficult to score from the outside. Needs one here, and Malone rattles the rim. 31 points for Karl Malone.
And then Karl Malone, who has been big the last 90 seconds, rolls inside, and the sweeping hook is good.
Mutombo isolated against Spencer. Twisting, turning. It is against Spencer. Stockton. He goes for 3. Let's fight back. And he is quickly fouled.
Had a pretty good look from three-point range. Brian Stiff got caught inside, except the one thing, that was Mutombo flying at him. When you've got that kind of shot blocker at three-point range, you don't always get a chance to get a good look at the basket.
Open. Hornacek for 3. It is over. The Denver Nuggets have done it again. Game number 7, Saturday in Salt Lake.
A great moment. They forced a Game 7. And to my knowledge, to my memory, they led in the second half of that Game 7 in Salt Lake City versus the Utah Jazz. Led the game and ended up losing. Just another incredible effort. And just good people. You could just tell that, Dikembe Mutombo and Brian Williams and Chris Jackson, who had become Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, and Reggie Williams, and just nice guys, like good people. Those are the kind, as basketball, that's what you want to root for. When you get Carmelo Anthony and Kenyon Martin loaded upon you, it's just. Do I want to really root for these millionaires if I don't have money on the line? Those were really good people. So, and maybe Carmelo's a good guy at this stage. I don't know, but isolation. So yes, again, this is War of the Nuggets. We are the Nuggets. Longtime Denver Nuggets fans. We're out there. We exist. We're here to tell you the story. And we're beyond excited about great people. Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, about having great people that we can actually root for in the NBA Finals and to bring success upon this city. This, our second team. Never been there before. We're there now. We're so excited.